Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Please Be Random. Today, we're jumping right back into some randomness. Just a little bit of tidbits about the state here, maybe some work-related topics, things that us below average workforce people can relate to. Driving down the car in the morning, sitting at home, doing whatever you're doing. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day, night, weekend, whatever time it is, whatever day it is you're listening to this. We got some good ones today. I think we really do. I've got some relatable topics. I think it's kind of a bunch of stuff that I would imagine runs through all of our minds, especially us working class people that go out and pay our taxes. Number one subject being, and this is probably the most important one of the night, you either have money and no time, or time and no money. And the more family you have with that, whether it be kids or grandkids or whatever the case may be, the more disappointing and upsetting that topic really is to talk about. You need money to provide for said family. But with more money, unless you're lucky and some kind of crazy lottery winner or something, more money comes from sacrifice of more time away from family, away from kids, grandkids, mom, dad, whoever, brothers, sisters. They all, and this is kind of a rough way to put it, but they all get put on the back burner for 8 to 12 hours of your day. And I hate that. That drives me nuts. I love my family. And if I could spend more time with them and not have to worry about anything, I would 110% sign up for that right now. Now, with those thoughts, it kind of brings in the idea of what can we do to sacrifice less time and still make the same amount of money. So, probably 90% of 90% of us out there right now are constantly on the hunt for a better opportunity, whether that opportunity is a better job or better pay with the same hours, or better pay maybe with sacrificing just a little bit more time. You throw every other Saturday you got to go to work, things like that. I feel like we're always looking. I know I am. I'm always looking. Right now I have a pretty good opportunity inside my workplace, but then it comes with a raise, but I sacrifice more of my time. So I feel like it's just a constant cycle. You can't ever find a good balance between the two. Anybody listening is more than welcome to give suggestions. I personally I haven't found the perfect recipe yet. Just haven't. I don't know what it is. Well, other than praise God, one day I buy a lucky lottery ticket, which I'm going to be one of those people that never plays the lottery, and then the one time that I do, I win, hopefully. That's the goal, but I never play. I don't even buy scratch off tickets. And if I so happen to, one day buy a Powerball ticket, and then all of a sudden all 7 numbers or whatever it is, 6, 7 numbers, all of them just happen to fall perfect. You never know. But speaking of pay and, things of that nature in the workplace, I understand that certain states and certain counties and certain cities and all this other stuff have different pay scales based on performance and or traffic for the business and things like that. I understand that. You can't pay people when you don't make the money to pay them more. And I get that. Okay. It's the companies that make plenty of money and just don't want to spend it on the people that keep that company moving. It's sad. It's sad. For example, I used to work for a company that paid you $16 an hour, and you had to have a certain knowledge to be able to do said job. It wasn't something you could just like come into work half asleep and do whatever you wanted. It's a job where you had to have some kind of cognitive functions to be able to do the job required of you. And you get paid $2 less on the hour than Walmart shelf stockers who can't do their job. Literally can't. When's the last time you went into Walmart and everything on the shelf was in the exact right place that it was supposed to be? And my point has now been proven. 16 an hour. And if you don't know what you're doing at this job place or workplace, you could very potentially cost the company you're working for a lot of money. Now, you wouldn't be able to get away with that for very long because they'd probably terminate you for not doing your job correctly. But in my mind, the way that would work is if enough of us did it, it would make them realize like how important even the smallest of gears is to keep the whole cog running. I mean, we're the bottom of the totem pole, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in another episode. We're the bottom of the totem pole, and this is referring to anybody, any company, anywhere. Your employees that are on the bottom are probably the most important part of the whole system. Think about it this way: you own a restaurant. You're the owner. The chefs probably below you. I mean, you'd have your managers and things like that, but your chefs would be below that. Owner, manager, chefs. Okay. Then you have hosts. I would say probably, well, waiters, waitresses. Then your hosts. Okay. A lot of people point and prod and poke at the hosts. They're the lowest end, lowest paid part of the whole system, right? They are the forefront of your company, the first face that people see when you walk in. If you have some hippie looking, I smoke 2 pounds of weed a day, saggy pants, unbuttoned, button up shirt with a wife beater on underneath, smoking a cigarette as people walk in your door, how's that going to look? You'd your business would crumble. You would never ever be able to bump yourself up. I mean, and I say that a restaurant is very fluid in the concepts. Okay, you could open a restaurant that's supposed to be like that. I mean, they have restaurants out there where you literally pay to be insulted the whole time. So there are certain situations where that would apply and be okay, but you want a fine dining restaurant, or even if I'm not gonna lie to you, even if I walked into like a Texas Roadhouse and the person who greeted me at the door was LaFonda with big long nails and smelled like a pound of weed, and she had her shirt all dirty, or what if the people in the front, the first interaction with your customers is not up to par, your restaurant does not work. And it's the same way with any other company. If you have, say, like my job, for instance, you have a box that is your garage, and I am the only one that works there. Okay? And the only way this company makes money is if I am successful at my job. If I mess up in any way, or if I run off customers, or if I don't keep my shop clean, this company does not make money. Period. Point blank period, does not make money. So I really, if there's one true lesson to be taken from any of this that I'm saying, big corporations, not that not that anybody ever that matters is going to hear my voice right now. Just in case one of y'all do catch wind of what I'm saying, please, for the love of God, pay your lower end employees more money and respect them as highly as you do the secretary right outside your office. I'm telling you, if companies, big corporations, whatever, would respect the low guy, the little man in the company more, and this is that kind of reverts back to my whole opinion, which I'm I haven't told anybody yet, but my opinion on family run businesses, like family owned, family operated for the last 80, 90 years, like that, those businesses will care for and support all of their employees, not the executive management, not the owners, not the CEOs, not the guys running the stores. They respect all of them. They respect it all the way down to the guy who mops the floor at night. Why can't big corporations do that? Apple, Facebook, Google, my workplace, for example. I mean, it's just, I don't understand what's so hard about it. I don't get it. I mean, maybe they just don't care. Well, they obviously don't care, but I feel like you would get so much more respect and so much more done and make so much more money if your whole workforce was happy, wanted to be there. And that is something else we could talk about is, you have all these states that are right to work states, quote unquote. So basically what that means is they have every right to fire you at any moment for any reason, and they don't have to tell you the reason. And I'm going to tell you a secret. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to tell you the reason, because if something slips out of their mouth that they didn't mean to say, they have a lawsuit and you could make a lot more money than what you would working for them. That's garbage. Right to work state, in my opinion, is garbage. You're basically telling me that I could be a perfect employee, perfect attendance, never make a mistake on the job, don't cause any issues with other coworkers, kiss the boss's ass if I need to. But you could just wake up one morning, be pissed off at your wife who's cheated on you, and come to work and be like, no, no, sorry, man, you're fired. Why? I'm not going to tell you. Just have a good day. You're fired. For no reason. I mean, it literally could be for no reason. He could just be like, I don't want you working here anymore. Huge supporter of some kind of backbone for you, by the way. I mean, unions are very, very nice when they do their jobs. That's my biggest argument with them. They're amazing things to have when they do their jobs, which they are not what they used to be. I can tell you that. But I think it's garbage. I don't think it's okay to say, "Hey, I'm sorry, but bye," at any moment at any time, for any reason, for no reason. I just think that's all. I always thought that was garbage. I live in the state of West Virginia, and that is a right to work state. There are pieces of that I actually signed in my contract. It's garbage. Speaking of the state of West Virginia and garbage, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the roads over here, y'all. I mean, if you're listening here in state, you completely understand what I'm talking about. Good God, these roads, man. And I think the saddest part of it is they expect our cars to be roadworthy. I think it's the funniest thing ever. I really do. I think it's funny, and I think they are sitting on a high horse that they don't deserve to be on. I mean, you people are telling me that I can't have any rust holes at all. So, like, even if it's, a pinhole of rust, it doesn't pass inspection. If my tires are anywhere near the wear bars, it doesn't pass inspection. If my windshield has a longer than like 3-inch crack in it, it doesn't pass inspection. If my ABS or airbag light is on, it doesn't pass inspection. If my tail light's out, if my turn signal's out, blah, 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 blah. Basically, your car, even if it's a 1964, it has to be perfect. Of course, you lose out on a lot of the computer components of the car if it was that old. So I mean, you wouldn't have all the lights and fancies. But I just think it's I think it's really righteous of you to think that my car has to be perfect when I have to bob and weave like the bad guy from Roadhouse, singing and tra-la-la and down the road to avoid your man-eating potholes. Or better yet, Dodge Cummins dually eating potholes. My poor little Nissan Kicks would be swallowed to the pits of hell if I hit one of those potholes. And you're telling me it has to be perfect to be able to be worthy of your road? No. And let's not get it twisted. It's like $34 for 2 years, or $37 or whatever it is for a 2-year sticker. So it's not expensive, but it can get expensive if you add in the fare or if you add in the expenses of, say, your ball joints out, or your brakes are bad, or you need new tires, or you need a new windshield, or you got to buy all your freaking light bulbs for your car because one of them's not working. I mean, you start adding all those things up because your car doesn't pass inspection, so you can't get an inspection sticker, which makes your car illegal until you get one. You figure brakes and pads, or pads and rotors for your brakes on your car. You're looking at like anywhere from 200 to 600 depending on what kind of car and or vehicle or truck you have. So, just brakes alone can turn that into a $630 some dollar bill. I'm from Illinois originally. Like, that's where I originate from. Dude, you could be driving a let's say a truck down the road, and it could literally be sitting like this because the frame is broken in half, and you can still drive it down the road. You pay your $151 a year for tags and mosey on killing yourself going down the highway. They don't care. And you know what's funny is their roads, now that I've lived here long enough, their roads are actually better than our roads. You want good roads, you go to a communist wealth, and you go to like Kentucky or Virginia, places like that. Because listen, they got some sexy roads over there. Now I'm sure you probably get certain parts of them that, they got rough back roads and things like that, but their highways and their interstates are phenomenal. Right now, on my way to work every day, I probably switch lanes with not passing somebody just to avoid a pothole and or rough area. I'd probably say 4 or 5 times on the way to work. An interstate, not a highway, not a back road, not a side road, whatever. It's a freaking interstate. Interstate 64. Matter of fact, the west end of Interstate 64, where it goes through Huntington. The construction through there is insane. Insane. Not only are the lanes split and traffic's nuts, so if there's an accident, it backs up for days, but 90% of the vehicles that go through there need a new rim or a new ball joint or new sway bar links or you go through there and you have to literally bob and weave through traffic, through lanes to avoid destroying the front end of your car. But you have the audacity to tell me I have to have a perfect car to be on the road. That's why I think I want to go into the last thing I want to talk about tonight. And that is, I would love to feel what it's like just for a minute to have enough money where nobody could say shit to you. You know how happy I'd be? Just for like a week. I just want to try it for like a week. Big with Tom Hanks, where he wishes to be a grown up, and then he's a grown up for like a month or whatever it is, and then he starts realizing he wants to be a kid again. Or 13 going on 30 with Jennifer Garner, which is ironic because I just got done talking about West Virginia, but that's a good example, right? Like, I just want to be filthy. Like, I have so much money I don't know what to do with it for like a week, just to taste it and know what it feels like. Just I just want to be pulled over, or I want to be walking into a restaurant or whatever. Bodyguards, cool, fine, whatever. You probably need that when you have bazillion dollars and somebody wants to rip your head off for your money. But I just want to know. I just want to very briefly know what it feels like to not have to worry, not have to struggle. And circling back to that struggling, or circling back to the struggling. Oh, I'm feeling it tonight, y'all. We ain't circling back to nothing, okay? We ain't circling back. We're continuing on with the already spilling out my mouth process. I don't want to be rich. Like, that's why I want to put my toe in the water and just feel it for a minute, just for a minute, like a week, and then go back. And what I want to go back to, okay, so right now we struggle. A lot of people struggle right now. I want to go for a week and be filthy rich. I'm talking about like nasty rich, like wipe my butt with $2,000 rich. And then I want to go back. But when I go back, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to stay rich. I don't want to become filthy rich. Would it be nice? Yeah, but it gets old because eventually you get everything you want. And then when you have everything you want, you your mind won't let you just have that and die with it. Your mind wants more. When you get everything that you want, I mean, I personally feel like that's what drives all of us to keep doing what we do, is to get what we want. And I know the whole materialistic thing, that's a sin and whatever. So is greed. Like I understand that. Okay, it's like cardinal stuff, you know. But I don't care who you are. I don't care, even if it's materialistic things like things to use in your family, like say for instance a camper or a big truck to pull said camper. Those are still material products that you want. You don't need a camper unless you need a house, then a camper would suffice. But if you already have a house, you don't need a camper. Buy a tent. Tents are like $40. Go camp in a tent. Why do you need a 55-foot camper? What do you need that for? So I feel like personally, that's what we all strive for, and that's what keeps us going. So again, I don't want to be filthy rich to the point where I can have everything that I want, because then eventually it gets boring and you outsource and you end up doing drugs, or you end up, you know, hanging out with the wrong people, getting killed, whatever. I don't want to be filthy rich. I want to be comfortable. I want to have $10,000 in the bank, and I want to be able to buy whatever I want and still have money for bills and or going out to eat or going on vacation. That's all I want. I don't want to be so rich that I don't know what to do with it. I want to be so comfortable that I don't have to worry anymore. I want a nest egg, and I want to be able to afford everything while also putting more into that nest egg. That's all I want. Because right now, let me tell you, if you, so I make roughly 35-ish thousand, I think, before taxes a year. And I think she makes roughly the same, I'd imagine, before taxes. And we are struggle bussing. We struggle bussing, man. I'm telling you. It's rough out here. You put $150 in your savings account for every couple of paychecks. The next thing you know, your tire blows out going 75 down the interstate, and you rip off the whole side of your car with it, and your front end's messed up. You got to go get body work done, and it's on a car that you're paying for. It's, you finally start seeing 300, 450, $500 in your bank account, and it's just sitting there. All your other bills are paid, everything's good, and then something happens because we don't make enough money where we can just be like, here's $3,000, let's put it in the bank and then don't touch it. We don't have that kind of money. You know what I mean? So it's I don't want to. My main goal is I don't want to struggle. That's it. I don't want to be rich. I just don't want any more of the financial struggle. I'm done with it, man. Like, I feel like we go out every day, bust our asses for nothing. When we come home, and I can buy little peddly stuff like Afterpay, which I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Afterpay, the components for this computer, so I can actually do things like this, like podcasting or playing video games or whatever. But I have to Afterpay. That's what I feel like my whole life is centered around, is financing, whether it be from family members that I slowly pay back, or the bank, or some app on my phone that I've built rapport with, and I just pay it back in 4 installments. Like, it breaks it up. $1,000 is $250 every 2 weeks. That's the only way we can afford things, and that drives me nuts. I don't want to have to depend on anybody or anything. I just want to have a comfortable living situation where we don't have worries if we're going to pay the bills or not. I don't want to be rich, and I'm sure 99.99999% of the people listening to this right now would agree. We don't want to be rich, people. We're not out here to steal your billions of dollars. We just want to be comfortable. So when I come to you and I tell you that $16 an hour is not cutting it, or $22 an hour is not cutting it, don't take it as me being greedy or me feeling like I'm overhyping myself in the workplace, like I'm considering myself to be way more worthy than I am. It's just because, I mean, with the living situation and everything going on, more money is needed. It truly doesn't have anything to do with me just being super greedy and I want more money and this and that. I want to be comfortable, man. And all these big CEOs and owners and all that jazz, they don't understand that. They understand struggle. They've been there, they've done that, but they don't understand where I'm at now because they're probably in their 60s, 70s, 80s. And when they struggled, everything was different. I mean, you could make 20,000 a year and pay off a house in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You know? You can't do that now. The freaking home term loans are like what is it? Like 25, 30 years. So like if I got a house right now, I'd be 60 when we pay off our house. That's ridiculous. All my kids will, well, yeah, all my kids will be graduated from high school and hopefully out of the house by the time I get my house paid off. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. But the question I have for y'all this episode is, in fact, the last topic. In your opinions, would you rather be filthy rich and have anything you wanted, or be comfortable and happy and not have to worry about a damn thing for the rest of your life? Because to me, that's all I want. That's all I need. That's it. I want to thank everybody who came back to listen to this episode and listen to me ramble on about a bunch of random thoughts and crap that have come into my head. I hope everybody has found the Buzzsprout and Spotify, Amazon Music. I hope everybody can figure out where I'm at now. We are posting everywhere, and just, again, if anything comes out of this, great. If not, I'm having a good time. Okay. But I would really, really appreciate it if you guys would go check out the YouTube channel, go find me on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all those places, and download some episodes. I don't even care if you listen to the whole thing, just hit the download button. That's, I mean, would I appreciate you listening? For sure. But if you don't mind, go check it out, y'all. Hit the follow button, and we're going to see y'all next week. Stay random, y'all.